Welcome back to the ocean, everyone. Now today we're going to head out just inside the island. The weather isn't good enough to be right offshore, so we're going to play it safe and stay in close. I got the camera out to begin a few camera drops to start off the day, and immediately got a glimpse at a brand new fish that I've never filmed before. Off in the gloom, we'll see a blue moki, along with one just nearby. It's surprising to me that it's taken us this long to film one of these fish. Next up were a few butterfly perch who were interested to look at my black magic snapper snacks, but not interested enough to take a bite as per normal. Coming in from out of the gloom are a few leather jackets. These guys turn up so quickly when you drop anything down over a patch of reef. They quickly number up and tear into your baits very, very quickly. Now these leather jackets are about to get the fright of their life. They're just cruising along and all of a sudden in comes two really solid kingfish. They obviously are predators of the leather jackets and they cruise right past the baits, take a good look. They look to be fairly decent sized fish, probably around 15 kilos. They do a big circle, go away and come back for another pass. But obviously the bait that I've got down there is not the right sort for a kingfish. So they just cruise on by, slinking back into the deep. There was a lumpy breeze coming from the south, so I dropped the anchor down just outside the reef, and soon a pesky little visitor showed up. Now that I'd hooked up to a fish, I was worried this shark was going to go straight down and eat my fish straight off my line.
Oh, he's going straight for it. Oh, get out of it. Get out of it. He just had a go. Tried to take my bloody gurnard. Very spotty wings on this one. This is going to cause more issues because of the blood.
The tiny little Mako continued to circle around the boat, not leaving me alone for a second. When small sharks are trying to take my fish, I find it best to just up the anchor and move areas away from them.
Just typical Mako behaviour.
I paddled a little bit closer to land into about 18 meters. I checked behind to make sure he wasn't following me, and then set up the camera to do a few more drops.
Meow.
Taking a look back at this footage, a little blue shape had just passed by the kayak. Obviously this meant the Mako had found me after all that commotion with the kahawai. He seemed to be a very confident little shark as he cruised around, barging into the kayak, acting like he owned the place. And at this rate, it would be no time before he found my bait and got hooked. Mako sharks can light up at any moment, so I was bracing for the worst as this shark kicked into 5th gear. When I've hooked Makos before, they've had a similar attitude where they've been uncaring when pulled to the boat. So this one turned around and was soon close to the kayak again and ready to turn into a blue fireball at any moment. I took my time tiring the shark out as he circled around the kayak, as I did not want to leader the shark if he had any energy left. The little blue bullet continued to circle around the kayak, shake his head in disgust, and finally started to wane in strength. The good news is that he's now under control on the leader. The bad news is I don't know how much this shark is going to fight me when I try and get the hook out.
Jesus, they got some teeth.
As I've never landed a Mako, as they've all been too big, this one came up for a really cool look on the phone camera. Check out how big those teeth are.
Oh, there's some teeth there. Oh, mate. Look at the teeth.
Now, it's always been my dream to get a Mako up onto my lap for a picture, but as they're incredibly powerful animals, even Makos of this size are risky to handle. Keeping the leader tight so I can control where his head was going, I put the Mako onto my lap.
He's strong. Gotta be very, very careful here. I got hold of his head like no tomorrow.
With the hook now free of his mouth, he tore off back into the ocean, hopefully to terrorize a few fish away from my boat. With peace and quiet at last, it was time to get the camera back down onto the bottom without risk of a shark biting it off.
Oh, shit. Game off. As I am pulling the anchor up, the camera rod's gone off for some reason. I don't know what caused that, but we'll go on the drift now. What have we got? Oh, I don't know where you came from. huge though. I'll take that. I was just thinking about that. All can change with one fish. It took 17 minutes of waiting since the last one, so weird how I've just pulled it and then the fish comes along, but whatever, we'll drift along. That's solid. One of the biggest ones I've ever filmed actually on the camera. Pretty skinny at the back end, but really solid fish. It's actually, yeah, quite skinny for how big it is, but we'll take it. It's been a tough all day so far.
So now we're on the drift and the camera's going back down to the bottom. Almost immediately we've got gurnard coming in to try and attack my baits. Compared to the anchored fishing I was doing earlier, we're seeing much more gurnard as we're drifting closer to shore. Although we didn't get picked up on the camera, my jig on the right rod did.
Good one. Maybe a trev or a nice gurnard. I was better off drifting. Nice. Happy with that. Oh, that was a good choice. I can go back down and we'll deal with this guy.
With a good feed in the back now, the pressure was off. On my drift closer to shore, a few more gurnard came in to look at the baits, but none of them were particularly keen to get it right in their mouth. To round out the day, I had a big rig come right up to try and eat a bait as I was winding up. Another gurnard cruised past but was being very careful about what it ate. The sight of those wings on the underwater camera never gets old.
That's weird. Followed the jig up and smacked it about 5 meters off the bottom and into another of whatever these are. I think it's a snapper. Probably quite a good one, just based on how much line it's pulling. Nice panny on the drift, I think. Oh yeah, pretty happy with that. It's been a bit of a struggle today. There we go. Must have been a couple of them there. Just bring that up a little bit higher. Oh, beautiful.
With a lovely little snapper to finish, it was time to get paddling back to shore. It had been a crazy day with a bit of chaos with that MAKO.